Hey ho, sing hey ho, to the green holly. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. Then hey ho, the holly. This life is most jolly.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. I missed the last couple weeks participating with the oldest continuously operating theater company in LA, Theater West, which I'm a proud member of. Had my play performed. Hoping to get a copy of that. They were recording the final performance, and so I'll share it here on YouTube. Love to share that with everybody. But and they're closing this weekend, but I'm not volunteering there as an usher this time. So I'm back, and I'm back to be able to host the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge, but with John, Bill, and Sheila, and see if anybody else joins us. We're here to perform as our regular procedure on Saturdays at this time, impromptu performances of the works of Shakespeare as chosen randomly by the Wheel of Shakespeare, which we'll reveal right here. And right there's the wheel that will determine the monologues that we perform randomly based on the randomly chosen order in advance. I will be going first today. I'll do the first performance, and then John is on deck. He will perform after me. After I perform, spinning the wheel, see what I'm going to do. And there blows the wind. Oh, this is Henry the Sixth part 3. I think this is from the Wars of the Roses. The son who's just discovered that the person he killed in combat was his own father. So that's Henry the Sixth part 3, 2 scenes. Ill blows the wind that profits nobody. This man, whom hand to hand I slew in fight, may be possessed with some store of crowns, and I that haply take them from him now, may yet ere night yield both my life and them to some man else, as this dead man doth me. Who's this? Oh God, it is my father's face, whom in this conflict I unawares have killed. Oh, heavy times, begetting such events. From London by the king was I pressed forth. My father, being the Earl of Warwick's man, came on the part of York, pressed by his master. And I, who at his hands received my life, him have by my hands of life bereaved him. Pardon me, God, I knew not what I did. Pardon, Father, for I knew not thee. My tears shall wipe away these bloody marks. No more words till they have flowed their fill. Okay. So, John, you are up now, and then Sheila is on deck. John is going to do. Oh my God, that's how ironic. The exact same scene. It's the monologue that falls literally directly above the one that I just did. King Henry speaks this molehill speech right before the sun enters and speaks the speech that I just did. The molehill.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You know what? I just noticed this. Yeah, there is something different. I don't have my taskbar at the bottom. What do I need to do to get my taskbar? Because then now this way I cannot access, another program like.
Well, I don't It depends on the computer.
I never. I mean, I I knew that there was something different here. Let me try something.
I don't think that's StreamYard. I think that's your individual.
No, no, it is. It is. It's mine. Let me see here.
Okay, so we just lost John. So he's been assigned King Henry VI, the Molehill speech that falls right before the one that I just gave. We'll come back to him. Hopefully he'll rejoin us. We lost him for a second. So it's Shelia's turn. Oh, wait, John's back. John, you made it back?
Oh yeah, and I've got it. I've got it now. Yes.
Okay, great. We're about to go on to Shelia and come back to you, but glad you made it back. Okay, so you found it. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Okay. Here I'm bringing up Firefox again, and then open source, and then if you will help me out because of the distraction, can you tell me? Let's see. It's Henry the Sixth, part 3, is it?
Henry VI, Part 3, Act 2, Scene 5, and I believe that's the top of the. Yeah, it's the top of the scene.
Oh, okay, and then it is. Okay.
And this battle fares like the morning's war.
Okay. This battle fares like to the morning's war when dying clouds contend with growing light. What time the shepherd blowing of his nails can neither call it perfect day nor night? Now sways it this way like a mighty sea, forced by the tide to combat with the wind. Now sways it that way like the self same sea, forced to retire by fury of the wind. Sometimes the flood prevails, and then the wind, now one the better, then another best, both tugging to be victors, breast to breast, yet neither conqueror nor conquered. So is the equal of this fell war. Here on this molehill will I sit me down, to whom God will, there'll be the victory. For Margaret, my queen, and Clifford too, have chid me from the battle, assuring both they prosper best of all when I am thence. Would I were dead, if God's good will were so, for what is in this world but grief and woe? Oh God, methinks it were a happy life to be no better than a homely swain, to sit upon a hill, as I do now, to carve out dials quaintly, point by point, thereby to see the minutes how they run, how many make the hour full complete, how many hours bring about the day, how many days will finish up the year, how many years a mortal man may live, when this is known, then to divide the times. So many hours must I tend my flock, so many hours must I take my rest. So many hours must I contemplate, so many hours must I sport myself. So many days my ewes have been with young, so many weeks ere the poor fools will can, so many years ere I shall shear the fleece. Passed over to the end they were created, would bring white hairs into a quiet grave. Oh, what a life were this! How sweet, how lovely! Gives not the hawthorn bush a sweeter shade to shepherds looking on their silly sheep than doth a rich embroidered canopy to kings that fear their subjects' treachery? Oh, yes, it doth, 1,000-fold it doth. And to conclude, the shepherd's homely curds, his cold, thin drink out of his leather bottle, his wonted sleep under a fresh tree's shade, all which secure and sweetly he enjoys, is far beyond a prince's delicates. His viand sparkling in a golden cup, his body couched in a curious bed, when care, mistrust, and treasons waits on him. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. Great scene that produced two great monologues back to back. Okay, it's Shelia's turn, then Bill. Okay, so Shelia's monologue is going to be... Yeah, As You Like It epilogue, Rosalind. Okay, so whenever you're ready.
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better by the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in then, that am neither a good epilogue nor cannot insinuate with you in the behalf of a good play? I'm not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg will not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, for the love you bear to men, to like as much of this play as please you. And I charge you, men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering none of you hates them, that between you and the women the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you as had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breasts that I defied not. And I am sure as many as have good beards or good faces or sweet breaths will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.
Okay, thanks, Shelia. So lastly, we have Bill, and if nobody objects, I think we've gone through this pretty quick. There's only 4 of us today, and we haven't had very long monologues. Unless anybody's in a hurry, I see no reason why we can't both do 2 monologues before we spin for scenes. So let's plan on that. So Bill's first monologue before we come back to me will be... Trinculo, Rose Needles for this new discovers Taliban into the sheet. Trinculo and the Tempest, Act 2, Scene 2. Starts, appears neither bush nor shrub.
Okay.
You ready?
There is neither bush nor shrub to bear off any weather at all. And another storm brewing. I hear it sing in the wind. Yon same black cloud, yon huge one. Looks like a foul bombard that would shed his liquor. If it should thunder as it did before, I know not where to hide my head. Yon same cloud cannot choose but fall by pailfuls. What have we here? A man or a fish? Dead or alive? A fish. He smells like a fish. Very ancient and fish-like smell. A kind of not of the newest porjon, a strange fish. Were I in England now as once I was, and had but this fish painted, not a holiday fool there would give a piece of silver. There would this monster make a man. Any strange beast there makes a man. When they will not give a doit to relieve a lame beggar, they will lazy out 10 to see a dead Indian. Legged like a man, and his fins like arms. Warm on my trot, I do now let loose my opinion. Hold it no longer, This is no fish, but an islander that hath lately suffered by a thunderbolt. Oh, alas, the storm is come again. My best way is to creep under his gabardine. There is no other shelter hereabouts. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. I will here shroud till the dregs of the storm be past. See.
Great. Thanks, Bill. So, yeah, all four of us have done a monologue. Let's do another round of monologues. Back to myself, back to the top. My second monologue. And then John's on deck to do a second monologue after me. After I do, what's the wheel going to give me? Portia, are you feeling the sun where I stand? Scene 2. This is just out. This is just after he's chosen the correct box. You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am. But for myself alone, I would not be ambitious in my wish. I wish myself much better. Yet for you, I would be trebled 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich. But only to stand high in your account, I might in virtue, beauties, livings, friends, exceed account. But the full sum of me, in sum of something, which to terms and gloss is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed. Happy in this, she is not yet so old that she may learn. Happier than this, she is not bred so dull, but she can learn. Happiest of all is that her gentle spirit commits itself to yours, to be directed, as from her lord, her governor, her king, myself, and what is mine, to you and yours, is now converted. But now, I was the lord, queen or myself, and even now, but now, this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lord. I give them with this ring, which when you part from, lose, or give away, let it presage the ruin of your love, and be my vantage to exclaim on you. Okay. John is up now, and his second monologue is going to be Juliet. Shall I speak ill of him who is my husband? This is in response to the nurse's line, shall you speak well of him that killed your cousin?
Okay.
3 scene 2 is where you'll find that.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'll be there in just a second here. We got 3-2, C3, Act 2. Okay. This is a cold reading. Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, my poor lord, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, have mangled it? But wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native spring. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you, mistaking, offer up to joy. My husband lives, that Tybalt should have slain, would have slain, and Tybalt's dead, that would have slain my husband. Oh, all this is comfort, wherefore weep I then? Some word there was, worser than Tybalt's death, that murdered me. I would forget it fain, but oh, it presses to my memory like damned guilty deeds to sinners' minds. Tybalt is dead, and Romeo banished. That banished, that one word banished, hath slain 10,000 Tybalts. Tybalt's death was woe enough if it had ended there, or if or if sour woe delights in fellowship and needly will be ranked with other griefs. Why followest not when she said Tybalt's dead? Thy father, nor thy mother, nay, or both, which modern lamentations might have moved, but with a rearward following Tybalt's death, Romeo is banished. To speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measure, bound in that word's death. No words can that woe wound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse? Thank you.
Okay, thanks, John. Okay, Shilly is up now, and she will do. Ooh, that one's. And I believe this one you set up like with the servants make little comments, so you can skip over that to continue, continue the raving. So it's more of a so you don't let that, just ignore that to not break the continuity of what she's saying. So whenever you're ready, go.
Out, damn spot, out, I say. 1, 2. Why, then 'tis the time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier and afeard. Oh, what need we to fear? Who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have so much blood in him? The Thane of Fife, he had a wife. Where is she now? Will these hands ne'er be clean? No more of that, my lord, no more of that. You mar all with this starting. Here's the smell of blood still. All the perfumes of Arabia will not sweeten this little hand. Wash your hands. Put on your nightgown. Look not so pale, I tell you yet again. Banquo's buried. He cannot come out of his grave. To bed. To bed. There's knocking at the gate. Come. Give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed. To bed. To bed. Scene.
Whoa. Scary. Really got into that one. That's awesome. Okay, so Bill is going to be our final monologue before we spin the wheel for scenes. Spinning for his second monologue, he's going to do. Oh, what a road! The Hamlet.
Wow.
The end of Act 2, Scene 2. One of the longest scenes in all of Shakespeare, I think. Act 2, Scene 2.
Yeah.
It's at the very, very end after the players have left. Oh, what a road! So whenever you're ready.
Oh boy. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage wan, his tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing, for Hecuba. What's Hecuba to him, or he to Hecuba, that he should wait for her? What would he do, and he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the gentle ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy-mettled rascal, peak like John the Dreams, unpregnant of my cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain? Breaks my pate across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face, tweaks me by the nose, gives me the line of throat as deep as to the lungs. Who does me this, huh? Swooned, I should take it, for it cannot be that I am pigeon-livered and lack gall to make oppression bitter, or else this I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's offal. Bloody villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance! Why, what an ass am I? This is most brave that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to my revenge by heaven and hell, must, like a whore, unpack my heart with words and fall a-cursing like a very drab a scullion. Fire. Foe. About my brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at a play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with miraculous organ. I'll have these players play something like the murder of my father before my uncle. I'll observe his looks. I'll tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know my course. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil hath power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of my weakness and my melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more relative than this. The play's the thing, wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king. See?
Okay, great. Thanks, Bill. So let's find what scenes the four of us can do today. What's the wheel when it's here? Okay, so Merchant of Venice, I believe that's the top of the scene, Act 5, Scene 1, Lorenzo and Jessica. Bradbury, Burgess, and Watch. Let's see. There's only 4 of us. Let's have to do that one another time. We need to get a scene with 2, so we have 4 roles. Okay. Actually, Richard decided that this one has a 3rd role, but it's a small one. So I'll just give that to one of the people to whoever plays Lorenzo or Jessica. I'll just assign that because Northumberland just has a few filler lines. Richard II, Act 5, Scene 1 for both of them. The King, where the King's being escorted to prison, and then Northumberland has just a few lines in there, and I'll just. But the 4 decent size roles that we'll choose from for the 4 of us in the same order will be performed: Lorenzo, Jessica, King, Richard, his queen, those 4. I'll take King Richard, and let's see. John has the next choice.
Well, I don't know.
John, what would you like?
Well, the Queen, I guess.
John's gonna take the Queen. Bill, yeah, Lorenzo or Jessica.
Lorenzo.
Okay. So Bill and Sheila, yeah, for that. Those, given the 2 of you were going to do that, the question was if you wanted to gender bend. Okay, so do that, and then Bill, I'll also have you in the second scene. You can be Northumberland, do the filler lines, which is most the scene, which is mostly the King and the Queen. Let me create the banner for you guys. Lorenzo, Jessica. Okay, so that's Act 5, Scene 1, where the King's being led off to prison by Northumberland. He gets to see his queen one last time.
So we're doing this whole scene? Where do we start?
I believe it's a long scene.
I didn't realize we were going first.
Start beginning with them. Merchant of Venice, Act 5, Scene 1. It's the 2 of them are then I think it's like the final scene of the play, and then the whole cast ultimately comes on. But it starts with just the 2 of them. I believe on a night like this.
So we end when Lorenzo has. So we end when Portia and Nerissa come in. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm not finding any Lorenzo Jessica here. I mean, I'm finding some. Enter Stefano is where we stop.
Let me check. Maybe I numbered it wrong. Give me a second. Yeah, actually, it starts. Act 5, Scene 1, Belmont Avenue to Portia's house. Enter Lorenzo and Jessica. The moon shines bright in such a night as this. It's just the 2 of them until enter Stefano and yeah, it's kind of short. This bit was just between the 2 of you before the others are going to enter.
Okay. The moon shines bright in such a night as this, when the sweet wind did gently kiss the trees, and they did make no noise. In such a night, Troilus, methinks, mounted the Trojan walls and sighed his soul toward the Grecian tents where Cressid lay that night.
In such a night did Thisbe fearfully o'ertrip the dew, and saw the lion's shadow ere himself, and ran dismayed away.
In such a night stood Dido with a willow in her hand upon the wild sea banks, and waft her love to come again to Carthage.
In such a night Medea gathered the enchanted herbs that did renew old Aeson.
In such a night did Jessica steal from the wealthy Jew, and with an unthrift love did run from Venice as far as Belmont.
In such a night did young Lorenzo swear he loved her well, stealing her soul with many vows of faith, and ne'er a true one.
In such a night did pretty Jessica, like a little shrew, slander her love, and he forgave it her.
I would outnight you did nobody come, but hark, I hear the footing of a man.
Who comes so fast in silence of the night? So,
We're done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay,
No, that's
sorry you got a short one. Okay, so now we have this. So King Richard, and actually, it's gonna. I think I'm gonna take myself out. It starts with just the Queen is in, and then King Richard's brought in with guards. I'll add myself, and then when Northumberland comes in to basically say time's up, you get a part. I'll let Bill in, and actually, Bill, I know you were looking at it. Do you need a minute to find where it is, since you just did it?
Oh, yeah, the acting scene, I didn't write it down.
Act 5, Scene 1 of Richard II.
Okay.
It'll be the whole scene. We're the only three who have any lines, and you only have a few, so that's why I gave it to somebody who already had a part. And okay, so let's see. So it starts with this way the king will come. So I'll take myself out, and you can start.
Okay. This way the king will come. This is the way to Julius Caesar's ill-erected tower, to whose flint bosom my condemned lord is doomed a prisoner by proud Bolingbroke. Here let us rest, if this rebellious earth have any resting for her true king's queen. But soft be see, or rather do not see, my fair rose wither. Yet look up, behold, that you in pity may dissolve to dew, and wash him fresh again with true love tears. And thou, the model where old Troy did stand, thou map of honor, thou King Richard's tomb, and not King Richard, thou most beauteous inn, why should hard-favored grief be lodged in thee when triumph is become an alehouse guest?
Join not with grief, fair woman. Do not so to make my end too sudden. Learn, good soul, to think our former state a happy dream, in which awake the truth of what we are shows us but this. I am sworn brother, sweet to grim necessity, and he and I will keep a league till death. Hie thee to France, and cloister thee in some religious house. Our holy lives must win a new world's crown, which our profane hours here have stricken down.
What, is my Richard both in shape and mind transformed and weakened? Hath Bolingbroke deposed thine intellect? Hath he been in thy heart? The lion dying thrusteth forth his paw, and wounds the earth, if nothing else, with rage to be o'erpowered. And wilt thou, pupil-like, take thy correction mildly, kiss the rod and fawn on rage with base humility, which art a lion and a king of beasts?
A king of beasts, indeed. If aught but beast, I had been still a happy king of men. Good sometime, queen, prepare thee hence for France. Think I am dead, and that even here thou takest, as from my deathbed, thy last living leave. In winter's tedious nights sit by the fire with good old folks, and Let them tell thee tales of woeful ages long ago beheld, and ere thou bid good night to quit their griefs, tell thou the lamentable tale of me, and send the hearers weeping to their beds. For why the senseless brands will sympathize the heavy accent of the morning tongue, and in compassion weep the fire out? And some will mourn in ashes, some coal black, for the deposing of a rightful king.
My lord, the mind of Bolingbroke is changed. You must to Pomfret, not unto the Tower. And madam, there is order ta'en for you. With all swift speed you must away to France.
Northumberland, thou latter wherewithal the mounting Bolingbroke ascends my throne, the time shall not by many hours of age, more than it is ere foul sin gathering head shall break into corruption. Thou shalt think, though he divide the realm and give thee half, it is too little, helping him to all. And he shall think that thou, which know'st the way to plant unrightful kings, wilt know again, being ne'er so little urged, another way, to pluck him headlong from the usurped throne. The love of wicked men converts to fear, that fear to hate, and hate turns one or both to worthy danger and deserved death.
My guilt be on my head, and there an end. Take leave and part, for you must part forthwith.
Doubly divorced. Bad men, you violate a twofold marriage, twixt my crown and me, and then betwixt me and my married wife. Let me unkiss the oath twixt thee and me, get not so. For with a kiss 'twas made part us, Northumberland. I toward the north, where shivering cold and sickness pines the clime, my wife to France, from whence set forth in pomp she came adorned hither like sweet May, sent back like Hallowmas or shortst of day.
And must we be divided? Must we part?
Aye, hand from hand, my love, and heart from heart.
Banish us both and send the king with me.
That were some love, but little policy.
Then whither he goes, thither let me go.
So two together weeping make one woe. Weep thou for me in France, I for thee here. Better far off than near, be near than near. Go, count thy ways with sighs, I mine with groans.
So longest way shall have the longest moans.
Twice for one step I'll groan, the way being short, and piece the way out with a heavy heart. Come, come, in woeing sorrows let's be brief, since wedding it there is such length and grief. One kiss shall stop our mouths and dumbly part. Thus give I mine, and thus take I thy heart.
Give me mine own again. 'Twere no good part to take on me to keep and kill thy heart. So now I have mine own again. Begone, that I might strive to kill it with a groan.
We make woe wanton with this land delay. Once more adieu, the rest let sorrow say. Thanks, you guys. So good job today, everybody. Glad I got to return after a couple weeks hiatus. Glad to have been back. Glad to have performed with you guys, and look forward to getting back on schedule every Saturday. So same time next week. I'll see you guys for the Wheel of Shakespeare challenge. Hope it's another good one like it was today. Take care. Bye now, everybody.